I want to be very careful not to pick up on my Hot Topic necklaces jingling, so if that's an issue, please let me know.
I'm the man. I'm supposed to take care of myself. Alex is killing me! Alex is killing me! Alex is killing me! Alex is killing me!
If you're wondering if you can join, you cannot. It is. Anyways, with the recent updates on
Chris Tyson coming out,
we now have the perfect opportunity to talk about something I've thought about for a little while but didn't exactly put into words. Parasocial breakups. Now, I am sorry to clickbait you, I'm not going to be talking about Chris Tyson because I don't want to. Today we're going to be talking about parasocial breakups. Do you like my blush? I think it's pretty uneven. This is going to distract me for the rest of the video. I cannot do makeup to save my life. I think our understanding of a parasocial relationship is when our brain tricks us into believing that people we don't actually know, be it YouTubers, musicians, artists, historical figures, random other online or people we don't know, our brain tricks us into believing that we have a relationship with them, likely because we are presented with some media about them, be it books, movies, music. We're given media by them that tricks us into believing that this is part of their relationship with us. So we're receiving stuff from them, and because of that, we believe we know this person, and that's where the parasocial relationship comes from. A parasocial relationship is a one-sided relationship with somebody who doesn't know us or doesn't believe we exist. So when parasocial relationships are more romantic in nature, when they end, they may feel like a breakup. Or, well, maybe it's just me. I don't know if anyone else has ever felt that way. I experience parasocial relationships very intensely, or at least I did before I grew up and stopped being a teenager. Hello teens, I definitely do not envy being you right now. I'm sorry, that was mean. Not long ago, I experienced very intense parasocial relationships, and when they ended, they did feel akin to a breakup, to the point where before I knew these content creators or celebrities, I didn't know they existed. And then after I stopped being obsessed with them, I kind of just wanted to distance myself from the objects of my fixations, similarly to a breakup, or at least what you should do.
When you break up with somebody, you should block them and leave them and stop talking to them. Do not emulate my behavior.
I haven't met really anybody else who's matched my parasocial intensity. I was very intensely obsessed with two people that I would say got
Objectively, subjectively out of hand.
I used to be obsessed with the actor Jack Wilde, and my obsession was enabled by an Instagram community that was full of girls who loved Jack Wilde and all things 70s pop culture related. And my obsession with Jack Wilde wasn't really romantic. I just wanted to be his brother. I wanted us to be brothers. I wanted us to go on little brotherly 1970 ragamuffin Lost Boy adventures and just be brothers together. And within this Instagram community full of autistic, bisexual girls, I'm not even kidding, a number of them also had similar feelings toward Jack Wilde. Most of the girls were obsessed with a number of 1970s teen pop idols, and with Jack Wilde, they had this spiritual connection to him that was more platonic than romantic. And then the ones who did, oh honey, I wish I could unread the smut that I read. There was not a lot of smut. There was one smut. It does not exist anymore. But holy moly, it was awful. I can still remember. Now, my obsession with Jack Wilde ended because I got into a relationship with one of the girls in this autistic bisexual group chat. So I became obsessed with her, and I was no longer as interested in Jack Wilde. Jack Wilde got cucked, if you will. That's a joke.
It was not a funny joke, I'm sorry.
After my relationship with my ex-girlfriend ended super horribly, I wasn't really interested in going back to Jack Wilde. Part of the reason was because my relationship with her tainted Jack Wilde and the Jack Wilde community for me in general, especially because she actually tampered with all the girls in the community and made everything about her and ruined everybody's lives, actually, to be completely honest. As a result, I'm really not that interested in Jack Wild anymore, to the point where I just kind of avoid anything that has to do with him.
When looking for clips of Jack Wild for this video, I actually had an emotional reaction to seeing photos of his face.
And any feeling of regard I have toward Jack Wild is,
Oh, that's somebody I used to know. I used to be crazy about that man.
rationally, I never knew him, but emotionally, my brain believes that this is somebody I did know, even though he died in 2006. I just don't really want to watch any more videos about him. I don't want to see him talk. Sort of like with an ex. If somebody is gonna bring up my ex, I might have things to say, and I might have this sense of, oh, I hope they're doing well, I hope they're doing a lot better than they were in a relationship with me.
because they ruined my life.
Thing to do with them, I'll be like, please don't show me any photos of this person now. I don't want to see any videos or photos of this person.
You asked to video call your ex-boyfriend, though. What was that about?
Now in 2022, I spent the entire year being romantically obsessed with somebody.
I think most of you already know who it was.
But I'm not going to share who because it feels like it wasn't that long ago, but I was romantically obsessed with a YouTuber, and this YouTuber was and is still alive and well, not well is a bit of an exaggeration, but this YouTuber is still alive. My romantic fantasies were enabled by the fact that he was still alive, and I mean, quite a bit older than me, but like, you know, doable, workable, manageable, and it also didn't help that he lives in the city where my dream graduate school is that I'm not going to tell you for that particular reason. Because he lives in the area where my dream graduation school is, it created this fantasy that I could play on repeat. You know, I'm a few years older, I'm in my early 20s, this man is like 40 now. I didn't really conceptualize that because I was 18 and he would have been 33, 34, and I didn't think about that. I didn't think about the fact that, oh, by the time I'm in my early 20s, he's gonna be 40.
That'll look really weird, that would be interesting.
But no, we'll totally just randomly meet while we're walking in an aquarium, and we'll just bond over the great Pacific exhibit and look at the huge fish and then talk about our lives and music. Like, our content is completely polar opposite, and I'm sure we would both disagree with everything each other has to say. Our personal interests, I think, overlap quite a bit, and, you know, we could be, like, romantically compatible. I'm just saying. But if you thought my Jack Wild obsession, where I was consuming literally every video or commercial he was ever in that could be accessed since, I don't know, 1960-something, and I was making video edits of him all the time and drawing pictures of him all the time, my obsession with this YouTuber who was still alive, that was like 10 times worse. That was my obsession with Jack Wild, but on crack. And as a result, my breakup with him was more devastating, to the point where with Jack Wild, I can still look at old pictures of him, but seeing new videos that this person produces is very hard to watch. I can't watch any of his old videos at all. Just like as soon as I hear his voice, he's still alive, so I could watch every new video that he would put out. I could watch all of his old videos. I could watch all of his archived videos.
I would watch all of his archived videos, like at least 20 times. I would wake up in the morning and put them on, so I could
Hear his voice as I was making breakfast and going to my last year of high school. Oh wait, I would have been 17. And the reason my parasocial relationship with him ended was because I got into a new relationship. My obsession with this YouTuber was redirected to the person I was in a relationship with at the time. And around March, April, May of 2023, my obsession really just disappeared for this YouTuber. Post-breakup, I have a sense of, I hope he's doing okay. Sometimes out of morbid curiosity, I check in with him on Twitter, but it's still too painful, and I'd rather just not engage with him or remember that he exists at all. Around the time I was obsessed with this YouTuber, I met a man much older than me who was equally obsessed with this YouTuber.
I hope he doesn't find this video. He'll be quite upset.
There was one poster who stood out to me. This notorious older guy, rather obnoxious, disruptive, you know, as some patterns here, that, you know, everyone knew about, and most people didn't really like. And I found him kind of fascinating. He was also the first person to sort of acknowledge my existence when I posted something random. He commented on it. Now, the difference between me and what's his name? The archiver is, number one, I didn't ship myself with this man who was about my parents' age. Number two.
You do not? Okay, thank God. I was worried about that.
No, I actually have standards. Shockingly, I was definitely fascinated by him. I reached out to him a few times because I am the person who slides into DMs. I am the creep who slides into DMs. Let the records show.
Right.
Yes. I reached out to him about 3 times separately. The first time was so we were both obsessed with a particular internet celebrity, and I think the thing that fascinated me was he was exactly like me in that respect, that we were both probably the most obsessed with this internet celebrity, and both had a mixture of resentment and somewhat obsessively attached, mildly romantic feelings. I regret and apologize to say for this for this particular internet celebrity. And basically the fact that there was somebody like me was cool, and that's all I'm gonna say. And I don't think anybody was more obsessed with this YouTuber than he was, with me being a close second, but that is saying something. And he had been obsessed with this YouTuber anywhere from 3 years to 10 years. And his parasocial relationship seems to have ended in 2020 or 2021. I'm going to assume it could have been community toxicity. It could have also been this YouTuber becoming less sympathetic. I barely interacted with this older man who was also obsessed with this YouTuber, but he told me that he used to be afraid that this YouTuber was going to die every single day. He would wake up and check on this YouTuber to see if this YouTuber was still alive, and he had this intense anxiety. Again, this is parasocial. He didn't know this man. Some people didn't believe him, but he said multiple times that he didn't know this man, and I think parasocial relationships can become really intense. Now that this man has broken up with this YouTuber, I say broken up in a parasocial sense, he doesn't seem to want anything to do with this YouTuber's content anymore.
I forgot to mention, but this older guy would thoroughly analyze every new video that came out about this YouTuber, and by the time I joined, every time he was making a grand analysis, he would complain about how bored he was or how much he hated doing this, and please, for the love of God, can anyone take over for him? So I eventually took over his job of hyper-analyzing every piece of content that came out about this YouTuber, but it seemed to me that this man also didn't want to watch any more of his videos. He made that very clear. He was like, I don't want to watch any more of his videos. I can't stand listening to him. So I'm noticing some overlapping symptoms where he was clearly going through the symptoms of breaking up with a toxic ex, which is kind of what it felt like to be in a relationship with this YouTuber.
I think we see examples of parasocial relationships breaking up every day or every year whenever a YouTuber gets canceled. That's when you see the people who are clearly in a toxic relationship with the YouTuber who got canceled, or the people who are shocked and offended and horrified and personally hurt that this YouTuber really did groom a minor. Happens to the best of us. DMs, that little 13-year-old boy slides into your DMs, you talk, you're like, I'm dying to see what you look like, oh my gosh, you're cute, wait 5 years and then we can date for real, and pretty soon you're sexting, and then you've committed a felony, and oh my gosh, it gets out of hand, I had no idea. Guys, I really hate when all these grown men just groom children. It's not that hard. I have minors DM me. I have no desire to groom them. I don't really have any desire to become best friends with them or any. When a YouTuber is convicted or alleged to have committed a horrible crime, and there's obvious proof, the people who were diehard fans but have a conscience, they break up with this YouTuber, and they feel personally hurt because they used to be attached. They used to feel like they knew this YouTuber. I'm sorry, I've been spending way too much time looking at my face, my beautiful face, and not you, my audience. Just kidding, I don't know you. Stay away from me. Also, let's talk about parasocial relationships with me. Just kidding, it hasn't happened that many times. And obviously, if they're parasocial, I wouldn't really know about them. I will talk about a couple of parasocial relationships that a couple men had with me, and they weren't pure parasocial relationships because I did communicate with them as well, but I'm going to consider them parasocial relationships because to them, I was first and foremost the girl that they found on Instagram. And it was parasocial because They didn't even really get to know me before they became extremely attached to me, and that was because they already had that parasocial foundation of finding me to be a very attractive and engaging and entertaining person that they found on Instagram. With the first man, I made it very clear from the very beginning I was not romantically interested in him, because he was old enough to be my father. And by that I mean he was actually old enough to be my father and not a teen dad. I've talked about him a few times before. Thank you for coming into my life and giving me content. I don't really care if I say that. You were 44. I was 19. Stop, like, you were weird. I did talk to him almost daily because I met a man who enjoyed writing, like me, and seemed like a really good listener, and I wasn't worried about being emotionally manipulated by him. When I noticed signs of him trying to emotionally manipulate me, I shut them down immediately. But he expressed a few times that he was, interested in dating me.
In fact, he was interested in dating me after like 3 days of talking, one-on-one.
I don't believe that I let him on because I made it very clear I wasn't interested in him, and he was clearly somebody who didn't have many female friends because I treated him as a friend, but he seemed to interpret a woman being kind to him, a woman bantering with him, like there's a difference between bantering and flirting. I was cracking jokes with him. That's not flirting. And he might have thought that I was leading him on because he seemed to act like we were dating when we actually weren't. Like, when he wasn't talking to me, he was watching my videos so that throughout the day, he would be able to hear my voice and see my face even when I wasn't actually talking to him. When I eventually told him to back off because he was making me uncomfortable, he sent me like a breakup message saying that, he hoped that I had a good life, and if he knew that I was never going to share my real name with him, he would have never talked to me in the first place, that's just really silly. And then he deleted all his comments from my entire YouTube channel except for one of them. One of them is still up. If you can find it, I'll give you a little boop on the nose. He completely deleted all his comments off my YouTube channel, so he would have to go through all my videos where he'd left comments, and he would leave like paragraph-long comments. And I'm not offended because I wasn't emotionally attached to him and I didn't have a relationship with him. But again, this is him reacting like we had a parasocial breakup. He was obsessed with me, but the obsession ended when reality hit him that I, the real me, was not interested in him. And I'm sure that hurt. I'm sure I don't really care because again, you're 44 and I was 19! Another occasion where where a man was in a parasocial relationship with me, I did express interest in him because he lived closer to me and he was closer to my age. The more I got to know him though, the more I realized that we probably wouldn't work out. And I made that clear to him, and I told him multiple times that we're not going to work out. I don't want to date you. We are never going to date. And despite this, he continued to watch my content, which is fine, because we didn't break up. We were not dating. He continued to watch my content. He continued to engage in my Discord server. He seemed to want me to comfort him whenever he was in emotional crisis. To him, I was this fantasy girl that he had discovered on Instagram and was now watching on YouTube, and he was so lucky to have had the privilege of getting to actually talk to me one-on-one. But he never got to know me. He just got to become closer to the character that I was in his head, the character that he got to watch on his screen. And when, I guess, we had our parasocial breakup, the real me said, I don't ever want to talk to you anymore. The real me blocked him and banned him from my comment section. He responded by being that ex that never lets you go, like continues to check your profile and tries to reach out to you on every single social media account that you have. I wouldn't call him a stalker, but I would say his behavior was very inappropriate and unwanted, and do not make a new YouTube channel to comment under this video. I will delete it. Stay out of my life. This is what a parasocial breakup looks like to some people. It might look like distancing yourself from the content, or it might look like stalking you like a stalker ex. This is a topic that I've had on my mind for a little while, and I hope you found this video interesting. I hope you like my shirt. I hope you like my Smashing Pumpkins t-shirt. I've been getting so many compliments from people in their 40s who listened to this when they were in college or when they were teenagers, and they're like, oh my goodness, you like the Smashing Pumpkins? I didn't know people still listen to that. Nope. Just me. Because I'm not like other girls. Did that make you cringe? I'm sorry. Unsubscribe.